Come on. Welcome to episode 66 of the SNLF podcast, sponsored by New Style Apparel, the latest clothing lines for the football casual. Head over to newstyleapparel.uk where you'll find the 3 lines available for you to purchase. Those of you watching on Wednesday evening can see we're not quite at a full contingent this evening. Mike's had to pull out this evening to get the app sorted, which I believe is out either supposed to be later today or tomorrow, but we've had that one before, haven't we? So we'll see how it goes. So just with me this evening, it's the SNLF food guy. Gaz, how are you?
Yeah, good, mate. Thank you. Very good.
Jolly good. And down in my left-hand corner, the Sussex stat man. How are you, Mr. Pryor?
Sounds to yourself.
Not too bad. A little bit, yeah, but picked up a few germs at work and now they're home. So there we go. But never mind.
All the fun of the fair.
Oh, isn't it always? Especially when it's not you taking the germs into work, it's someone else bringing them in and sharing the love, as they say, if not else. Without further ado, we'll get straight into our special guest this evening, which if you're watching on Wednesday evening, but listening on Thursday, down in our right-hand corner, we're joined this evening by the Shoreham FC manager, Connor Cox. Connor, how are you?
All good, thank you. Thanks for having me.
No, thank you very much for coming on. Obviously, we've got you on at probably one of Shoreham's best moments of the season. We won't mention the 6-7 tweet, but your form's taken a little bit of an upturn, hasn't it, the last few weeks?
Yeah, it definitely has. A few big results. It's been coming though. So last couple of games before that, we were competing with Forest Road, New Haven. It was tight, and then conceded later on, and then then performances have been coming. And then, a big win against Seaford, and then an even bigger win on Saturday.
Yeah, that's one of the things we noticed, obviously, when you replaced Josh as well, is obviously the side were getting hammered week in, week out. But, a few weeks into your reign as well, those scorelines started to come down a little bit. Was that a little bit of a change of player, a change of shape, or just something different that you could implement to stop the goals going in?
Yeah, first off, obviously, we had to make ourselves harder to beat. So, there was a slight change of shape in there. And, a bit mixture of both, really. There's been a lot of upheaval in the playing squad and stuff like that as well. But, predominantly just we're playing with an extra pivot now. And the first principle was, can we be harder to beat? Can we stay in games more? Can we compete more? And then we can build on the football side from there. But it's more, the first bit was, first off, can we sort out the defence, really? And, that comes from new personnel coming in. It comes from a couple more senior heads in there, but also comes from changing shape and changing how we press and sitting in a little bit more of a structured shape sometimes as well.
Yeah, certainly one of the things I noticed when I came to watch in November when Josh was still in charge there, that was one of the things you was really lacking was a lot of experience. And, although it's great having the younger legs in there that can run for 90 minutes, you do need those just, a couple of heads that can just calm it down, slow it down, and just change and dictate the way you play a little bit.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think that was the first thing we looked at in terms of recruitment was, can we look to find if there's any senior heads that can go in there? Tomo was already playing for our twos, and it made a good step for him to just come up and play in the first team. And then a couple others we've signed, like Lewis Cash and players like that, and real leaders as well, and dictate it. And even if they might not be as quick as someone else, they can make sure they do their job, and then everyone else plays better around them because they're leading their direction that way. It's about getting the right characters as well.
Now, 10 games left to play now. It's obviously been a difficult season, been full of drama as well. But the question is the Great Escape on?
It's going to be hard. It's going to be very hard. It's going to be, there's lots of teams in and around us, and actually everyone's got to play each other. But I wouldn't have taken the job if I thought we were going to get relegated. I think why not?
Yeah, I mean, as we've sort of watched over the season, not very much has gone your way. And obviously, though, the sides around you hadn't been picking up points until quite recently, so it's actually quite vital that you either keep in touch with those around you, or nick a few points off of them, because it drags them in that little bit closer.
Yeah, exactly. We've got a lot of hard games coming up in terms of a lot of teams in and around the top of the league. But we looked at it and we went, this is why the Lancing game was huge, this is why the Seaford game was huge. Went into February, probably targeting at least 6, but hopefully like 7 points, ideally in February. And then the whole thing's been, can we win a couple of games here and there, to then being in around it for April, because we've got a huge April and there's 5 games of Eastbourne United, slightly different, but definitely 4 games of teams that are in and around us, and we can pick up results, hopefully. So these last games have been crucial to help us put us back in it, and it's going to be harder these next couple of games. But if we can just stay close enough, and then we'll have a real go in April.
Yeah, sounds a good idea. Gaz?
You're on mute, mate.
Gaz, you're on mute. There
Of
we
course
go.
I am. I'm on mute because I had a massive coughing fit about 2 minutes ago. So I'm muted and no one wants to hear that, do they? Look, I was just looking at the table. I think if you've got games against the teams, you really need to get something from them, right? Because you've played a few more games than 1 or 2 more games than the clubs around you. I'm not Shoreham aren't someone I don't think I've said Shoreham are going down. Like normally I like to make an early commitment, and I don't think I've said 100% they're going down. I've relegated Eastbourne Borough and I relegated East Grinstead back in October for what it's worth. So, but look, how are you gonna swing that sort of advantage? I don't really know where I'm going with that question. Like, what I'm trying to say is, there's teams around you have all got games in hand, 1, maybe 2 games in hand. You need to pick up points against them. Is it almost forget about everyone else to some extent and concentrate on what's around you in that sort of little mini league?
Yeah, we've got a internal points target of where we think we can want to get to.
Yeah.
For me, if we get there and then we still get relegated in terms of we've done the best we could have done. I still think there's points in every game in this league, in terms of, you've even seen it recently, how we see for drop points every now and then. Like, there's no reason now that we should be scared really of going into any game. But also I think, I think this is the belief in the players and the belief in the squad. So like, I look at it now, and that whole culture's changed really. Like the other day, we were 4-1 down with a red card to Guernsey at half time. All the boys in the changing room were going, we can get a result out of this. That's a different mentality, and that's not been something that happened overnight. That took time to build and bringing winners into the team and bringing a better culture. But also, it comes from the performances and how we have been playing. We go into every game, we can nick something here. We can get a point. We can get a result. I don't think there's that anxiousness as much anymore. Yeah. Whereas previously, I think there was, and we said it at Guernsey, even though we did end up losing 7-3, but 6 weeks before that, 4-1 down at half time, we'd have gone on and lost 8-9, 10-1 because the mentality wasn't there, and that mentality shift has been really key to see, and that's why I think it'd be naive for me to say 100% we're going to stay up, but I'm confident in the group of lads because they've got that belief and that mentality within themselves, and also with each other as well.
Let's talk about mentality quickly. Where's the mentality come from for the Guernsey games? Because there has been some goals in those 2 games you've played them this season. Chris will give me the exact number, but I'm going to guess it's somewhere close to 25 goals in 2 games.
23.
23. That wasn't a bad guess, was it?
No, good.
Guernsey's a unique team in terms of how they attack, right? They are overlapping centre-backs, and we had a whole structure in place, and after the red card, especially when we played a couple of weeks ago, does slightly change that, but we still had a 2v1 against the defender because of how attacking they are, right? So they go and they put 8-9 players in the box, and then they leave 1 player at the halfway line. So we've recognised that, okay, that's the area where we can get on the counter-attack if we defend well enough, that there's definitely going to be opportunities. But then, so the belief that we will score goals has always been there. It's just, do we then have the next part? Could we then deal with a threat that then, unfortunately, we hadn't been able to do it? We come out of them games, we scored 9 goals and got 0 points, right? But that's also a testament to how good I think Guernsey are. I think they're the best. I think they're the best attacking team in the league. I think they also give us a lot of chances, and we'll give it, that's why you can see them losing to like a YM and stuff like that, because YM will take them chances and then be able to deal with the crosses a little bit better than what we were, maybe.
Yeah.
But the belief that knowing that every time we went forward, we looked like we were going to score across both games meant that we had a chance, right?
Yeah, no, look, and by all means, I haven't been to either of those games, but everyone seems to be entertained by it. 5.5 million or whatever it is, seem to like it. Mate, I've got a couple of quick fire ones for you. What's been the best performance of the season so far? Obviously, in the time that you've been there, whether that's as a coach or
I want to go with Seaford just because how comfortable the win was, but actually I'm going to go for Peacehaven. Peacehaven away in the league. That was the first time for me it changed and something started to feel different amongst the squad. We lost 2-0 and we conceded 45 plus 4 and 90 plus 6, but ultimately we lost the game. But the way we defended and the spirit, before the game we played, we decided we're just going to play the players that are only going to fit the system, going to buy in, going to work hard. Went there, played a three at the back. None of them were centre backs. Played a left back, a number 10, and a centre midfielder, and all of them were quality. And then that showed me that, like, okay, something's starting to change here. And I think that performance was quality in terms of how we defended, and some of the patterns we did on the ball was amazing as well.
yeah. If you could replay one game, what game would it be this season?
Wick. So we played Wick at home, and we were just missing a few too many, and a couple injuries and a couple pulled out. And I think if we'd have played that game on a different day, we'd have won the game. But just with what we had available, we were just missing too many in the same area, and then just cost us a little bit.
Favourite ground in the league?
I've always liked Stannings. I think it's just I do like a 3G pitch.
Do you?
Yeah.
Not very often you hear someone say that, to be honest with you.
I like having the ball. I like having a lot of possession, and I think when you've got no excuses where the ball bounces up too much, then yeah, I like a Stannings pitch.
Final one for me. We'll leave it on something just blasé. Tea or coffee?
Tea. I don't like coffee at all.
I've asked that question twice now, right?
Well.
No milk?
No milk, just black tea as well.
Wow. I've asked that question twice now, and as a coffee salesman, neither answer has gone my way. I'll pass you over to Chris. He's probably going to ask some more in-depth questions that require stats and that sort of thing. I ask about tea and coffee. Or burger and pie. Burger or pie?
Ooh. The burger I had at Pagham last night was decent, by the way. I'm still going pie, though.
Yeah.
Can't beat a steak pie. Okay.
That's the last I'm going to speak to you, Connor. I'm afraid. Tea and a pie. We're well out of favour now. I'll pass over for some in-depth real shit.
How we doing, Connor? You all right?
I'm good, mate. You?
Yeah, not too bad, thank you. I tell you what, hearing you say that Peacehaven game made me smile because that was what that's a bit of a line in the sand, I think, as far as your season goes. In the run up to that game, I think you'd conceded 4 or more 10 games on the spin. And to be fair, since then, the only time you've broken more than 3 was Guernsey. And you're right, Guernsey are a bit crazy. Fun fact, they've conceded more goals this season than Little Common. So there's a lot of whimsical things that bring you here. It's a massive month coming up. You're right. Your fixture list is now in 2 halves, isn't it? You've got 5 pretty hard games, and then basically your season's going to come down to 5 games. How are you going to? Is anything going to change in terms of the preparation for that? Because your Easter weekend, you're at Wick, and then you got Van Dinians. And you finish it, and that is a massive weekend. I think I wrote down I think Lancing have actually got the same 2 fixtures, maybe different grounds, but I think those 2 teams play Lancing as well that weekend. Is there anything going on that's going to be different going into that weekend or month?
I think that weekend specifically, I think it becomes a harder challenge because obviously you've got the Saturday, Monday factor, right? So if we might have to go and mix it up a little bit and bring a couple more players into the squad for that time and a couple more players in for that game. But that's the main thing that's also changed in terms of we've now got a much bigger squad. So every week, it's not ideal, but have to drop 4, 5, 6 players out of the squad. All of them probably it's harsh to drop out. And I think that all of them have worked really hard and they're training at a good level. I'm then going, what's the right fit for this game? How does it work for that game? So that, yeah, obviously that game, them two over Easter weekend, both of them being as big as what they are, we're going to have to manage the fitness levels, manage the energy levels in the squad as well, and probably have to rotate a little bit whilst trying to stay consistent with what we're trying to do in the same sort of approach on the pitch.
Excellent. Yeah, it's I won't bore you with the stats of the season because, frankly, A, I'm sure you know them, and also B, like, I like to try and stay positive, and that's not a dig at Shoreham. I would do the same for anyone at the bottom end of the table. Yeah, I think it's going to be really interesting to see how it plays out for sure, and I wish you all the best.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
One thing, Connor, as well, it's been probably quite surprising, as it, you know, in terms of obviously the season's not gone to plan or anything, but the support you guys get of a weekend is something probably not a lot of clubs would when they're on quite the downward spiral you were on. Obviously, you had over 300 on Saturday against Lancashire, which is fantastic for any club at Step 5 level as well. But when I came in November against Pagham, and it rained hard the entire 90 minutes as well, and we stood in the stand as well. There wasn't one person though that was getting on anyone's back or anything like that. And I can't remember what it was. I think it's about 120, 150 that day. And obviously we see a little bit at East Grinstead at the moment where they're going through a similar tough time as well, where people are actually not wanting to go and support as well. So it's one thing, I think, as well, a bit of a credit to the club that people are still coming to watch. And, you know, at times of the season, all they've been watching is just an absolute thumping.
Yeah, I mean, first off, there's no hiding from it that, yeah, we have been getting battered and stuff like that. But it's a testament to the club and the fans and everything about that we are still getting good numbers. The fans have been great all season. And they travel as well. There's probably 40 of them that came to Seaford. So the support that I've had externally from the fans and from the club has been superb, especially considering, like, most of the times you've got to turn up to a home game, you can see 4 or 5 goals, right? That's how it has been at the start of the season. And hopefully we can give something to give back to them fans for all the effort they've put in, like all the money they've spent and all the time that they've come, taking the whole Saturday afternoon off when it's been terrible. I'm hoping that performances like Saturday and hopefully for the rest of the season feels like it's worth it. And I know it's a lot and it's been a lot of losses on the bounce, but they've been great for me in terms of, like, we lost 4-1 in my first game. We got clapped off the pitch because they were so happy with the performance and the fight and the desire, and to stay with us all the way through, it's been superb. And I don't think there's many other clubs that would have as loyal fans as what Shoreham do. So I'm very grateful for all the fans and all the support they've given me as well.
Yeah, it's certainly nice to see as well, because it's so easy as well to just walk, not come when it's, you know, that tough as well. And when you see it happen week after week, whether you're home or away as well, it'd be easy just to go, do you know what, I'm not going to bother this week and that. So no, that's testament to you know, to them turning up every week. And again, because obviously, you know, you've managed to get the score lines down, you've actually picked up a couple of wins and a draw as well and turn it around a little bit, but they can probably see, you know, a little bit extra as well that they couldn't see maybe 2 or 3 months ago.
Yeah, that's when we first came in. We spoke about I spoke to a few of the fans about what does Shoreham mean to them, like what does the Shoreham side that you want to see, what would you be proud of, and a lot of it was the same sort of things. And luckily they go into my values as well. They want to see resilience, they want to see hard work, they also want to see the ball on the floor, and they want to try and see attacking football, but the first principle is the hard work and the desire and the being hard to beat. So that's what they said to me. That's the feedback that I took from them. And then also I'm now seeing the boys implement it on the pitch, and they're all working very hard and got a lot of structure off the ball, pressing the right way. And I think hopefully the last month, fans can be proud of a Shoreham team again.
And just giving yourself quite, you know, a good shot of staying up as well now. Have you sort of had a look kind of outside the club, and also looking at Midhurst bringing in Connor Horn, starting to pick up points, and cooling down Gatwick, change managers as well? And that, I mean, I know you can only affect what you do on the pitch, but you just keep a little eye over there just to see, you know, is that gap going to increase for me, or, you know, do I need to try and change my points targets?
Yeah, I think it would be it'd be naive not to. I think that obviously you have to keep an eye on all the other scores and all the other results, but ultimately we can only do what we can do on the pitch, right? We've not put ourselves in the best position, and it's still not entirely in our hands. But if we can go and win the games we're supposed to win, or get results where we maybe nick a draw here and there, or get a win against the teams around us, I'd be proud of the boys if we got relegated and played anywhere near the way we did the last couple of games. I'd be proud of them, because it's not these boys that are currently in the squad. It's not their fault that we're in this mess. A lot of these players have only played the last 5-6 games, so they didn't lose 20 games in a row. Ultimately, the club did, and I'm involved with that. And the performances weren't good enough, and the results weren't good enough, especially. But I'll be proud of this current squad, no matter what happens this season, because of how they've managed to change that mentality, how the beliefs changed, and it's a really good culture as well. Like, the boys have, it's all changed completely. Like, there's banter in the group chat all the time. The boys are really together. Winning the other day, they're all like, "Oh, let's go out together as a team." Whereas before, we had a lot of good individuals and not that team spirit. So that's a lot of it that's changed that way. But I'm proud of our boys for the performances they've done and how they've turned it around anyway. And I'm still confident that we can stay up, but I'd be proud of them even if we didn't, because they've put in a really good shift and they've started to change things around, and they're all working their socks off.
Just to try and quantify that, like you said, that improvement that you've seen in the culture and stuff. Now, I can't speak to that or quantify that, but I can talk about, like, as Trev pointed out, the fact that your goals against column has been getting a lot smaller. And in the games, in the sort of 12 games prior to you taking over, and you compare that to the last 10 games, your goals against columns gone down 53%. So you've halved the number of goals you conceding per game. So there's some
very good. Yeah, very good to know. But the culture comes from signing the right characters and stuff like that as well. So there's a lot of players that maybe good technically but don't work hard, or players that just don't fit the right culture, and that's why we've looked at them and maybe gone against signing them and stuff like that. And then we've brought in some players that are really, like Kai Birchley, Fletcher Fane. There's a lot of players in there that or Lucas Laney coming back, they just sort of galvanised the whole squad. And then once the squad's together, I think that's the first thing you've got to do, build a squad that wants to play together, wants to be together. And then once they're all on board with that, they'll then start buying on board with the ideas on the pitch, and then that's when the performances come better, right?
Yeah, no, for sure. I think the other thing that comes across as well, and this is something that you see on a Saturday afternoon when you're keeping in touch with the scores from a distance, right? There are certain teams, they'll concede a couple of early goals and your head goes, uh-oh, this could get messy. And Shoreham were definitely that earlier in the season, whereas I don't think necessarily now that, if I see you've conceded 2 early goals, I don't necessarily think, uh-oh, here comes a panning, because of how you've been over the last sort of 10 weeks or whenever you've been able to get games on in that time. Which, again, I think speaks volumes.
Yeah, I think that there's a lot of reasons for that, but the change in formation, change of shape, but also the effort off the ball and how we're pressing, and so it's a good place to be. Obviously, I would rather have not had them times at the start of the season, right? Rather have not gone into games going, we're 2-0 down, this is going to be 6 or 7, 8, 9-0. But now we're at a point where I think we go 2-0 down and we go, no, let's keep going, let's push even harder, let's press even higher, and then we'll see. We've actually not been conceding early either recently. It's been in and around the game. And like Seaford's a great example. You concede early-ish, and maybe a couple of months before that 1-0 becomes 2-0, becomes 3-0, right? Whereas we were 2-1 up within 5 minutes, because we were like, no, we've been the better team. We've had a lot of control on the ball. We've had lots of success going forward. Why would we stop? And we just carried on doing the same things. And then all of a sudden we win the game quite comfortably.
Exactly.
Connor, thank you very much for joining us this evening. Best of luck for the rest of the campaign for the last 2 months. And it's certainly going to be an interesting run-in at the bottom as it is at the top as well. So, yeah, good luck, and hopefully your upturning form continues, and making that 20-game losing run look something of a blip in the background.
I hope so. It'll be hard, but I hope so. Thanks a lot for having me on.
No worries. Take care. See you later.
See
You're
you later.
welcome.
Thank you.
Take care, Connor.
There we go. Well, at least I've given themselves a shot, which a few weeks ago we would have said they were anywhere close to, although they were bringing the goals down again. But we'll see what happens over the next few weeks, won't we?
Indeed.
As it's the business end of the season coming up. Right, let's crack on. FA Trophy weekend. This one coming up. Quarter-final time, and our last representatives in any of the FA competitions are Horsham. They host Southend United this weekend. Without doubt, probably the biggest game in the club's history, even though they've been to Barnsley and other Football League clubs in the FA Cup as well. They win this one. They're 90 minutes from Wembley. 90 minutes.
It's madness. It feels
Gaz,
like
you're
a
on
football.
mute again. Maybe it's not a bad thing, but
just for a podcast.
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Depends if people value my opinion or not, doesn't it?
Well, you're not talking about burgers at the moment, but yeah, go on. What were you going to say while you were on mute?
Can't remember. It's a tough ask, though, isn't it? It's Southend.
Yeah,
Big
pretty
side,
decent form at the
very
moment
big
as well.
side. But in the same breath, Horsham aren't adverse to a big game. They've had a few of them in the last couple of years. They'll be bang up for it.
Yeah, and in the FA competitions as well, haven't they? The big games have been as well. But I mean, they're almost safe in the National League South, which we'll come to in just a little bit as well. So a bit of a free hit for them as well at the weekend. They are very injury ravaged at the moment. Obviously, Southend have got very strong forward line. Josh Walker and Harry Cardwell, and Slashy Spazoff, who was at Slough Town last year as well. Three really good strikers. Obviously, one of my good mates, Darren Curry, is assistant manager over at Southend as well. And they look like they're going to make the playoffs in the National League this year as well. So should be another good afternoon, though, for Horsham. And fingers crossed by the time we record next Wednesday, they'll be in that semi-final draw on Monday and hopefully in with a good shout of making Wembley. I mean, it'd be lovely for us to have a Sussex side in a final at Wembley in one of the 2 days on non-league final day, because bar Littlehampton Town, we haven't had anything, have we?
No.
Slim pickings.
Well, we could have had two.
We could. You know.
I mean, while it might be a tough ask. I mean, they did go to Glanford Park, Scunthorpe, and win. You know, so, and Scunthorpe are above Southend in the table, and Southend. I mean, yeah, they should make the playoffs because they've got the 4 games in hand on Halifax, but it's not a done deal just yet. So, fingers crossed. Maybe they're caught between two stools, so to speak.
Yeah, hopefully. So anyway, good luck to Horsham on Saturday afternoon. Hopefully the Hornets will be in that draw on Monday afternoon, more than likely on TalkSport. Right, let's head into the National League South and results at the weekend. Eastbourne Borough beat Torquay United by 4-2. Horsham won 2-0 at home to Hemel Hempstead, and Worthing beat Slough by 4-1. On Tuesday evening, Eastbourne Borough went down 2-1 at home to the leaders Dorking Wanderers. Horsham held Ebbsfleet United to a 1-1 draw, and Worthing won again, beating Torquay United by 3-1. This coming Saturday, as we mentioned, Horsham hosts Southend United in the FA Trophy quarter-final. In the league, Eastbourne Borough head to Hampton and Richmond, and Worthing head to Hornchurch. Then on Tuesday evening, the Sussex Senior Cup quarter-final, it's Horsham YM against Eastbourne Borough, but the tie reversed to Priory Lane. And in the National League South, Worthing are at home to Chesham United. Now, we said a couple of weeks ago that Worthing are absolutely bang out of form and how they're going to turn it around. And I think they answered that quite emphatically on Saturday afternoon in the first half.
Yeah, weren't they 4-0 up after like half an hour and 45 minutes? Like,
yeah. Against the Slough side that were in very decent form themselves.
Yeah, Indeed. I mean, they've answered it in the best possible way. And just as things seem to be turning for them, the rest of the sides in the top 6 seem to be having a bit of a wobble as well, which is helpful. Hornchurch have won 1 in 6. Ebbsfleet have won 1 in 6. In fact, Hornchurch have lost their last 3. Torquay, yeah, they'll be glad to see the back of Sussex for a while, won't they?
They will, won't they? Absolutely.
So it's a long way. It's a long way back to Devon, particularly when you've not got much leg room.
I'm glad you said it. I was going to make a comment as well.
Yeah, they did clear that up though, didn't they? I don't know if you saw on Monday morning, because I think Chris, you put it in the group on Sunday. So I went and did a little bit more investigating on it because it was all over Twitter anyway and read it. And I thought, cool, blimey, that's a bit out. And then I think on Monday, it was either the club or the Travel Supporters Club of Torquay put something out. Actually, it wasn't quite as bad as it was all made out. It was a bit of a much to do about nothing in the end. But yeah, they certainly would be glad to see the back of the weekends. Robbie Blake picking up an impressive win for Eastbourne Borough on Saturday. Couldn't quite match that on Tuesday, even against Dorking, but it's still kind of tight at that bottom end of the table. Eastbourne are not quite out of it. They've played a few more games than everyone else, but when one of your relegation rivals sells their star striker to one of the sides in the promotion race as well, it kind of helps you along a little bit.
Certainly don't hurt.
I think,
no, not at all.
I think the goal. I think the goals. I'm not on mute. I think the goals. The games played is going to be the thing that causes them a few issues. And I know you said you'd rather have games played than games in hand, but when you've lost them all. Exactly. Great result at the weekend. They beat that to beat Torquay. Me and Chris were there a few weeks ago, and I think I said on the Wednesday after, I said if they can show that fight that they showed against Maidstone, then they have got a fighting chance. I don't know. I'm not a pass opinion on Tommy going and Hugo going, because I think there may be issues further up. He may have been well backed. I mean, they've brought in a lot of players since he's been there. But as we've seen with Connor a little bit earlier, I appreciate the levels are different. It takes time, right? You got to have and it might have started coming good. That again against Maidstone might have kicked them on a little bit, and they might still have got that result against Torquay. Obviously, didn't win last night against Torquay.
I think having George Alexander back on the score sheet on a regular basis is moving massive for them. He's got 5 in 5 now. I think he scored in each of his last 3 at home. And if they're going to stay up, and I still think it's a tall order, but I think if they're going to stay up, that he's going to be a massive part of that. When I saw him against Horsham, he wasn't getting any sort of service. But that seemed, again, he scored 5 in 5. So something's definitely changed there. And the fixture list doesn't look awful for them at all. Start with a huge one on Saturday away at Hampton. And, they've still got Bath to come, but it does look a tall order. I think I was doing some maths earlier, and this will help for the Horsham conversation as well. I reckon you need about 45 this year. I think 49 will do you, but I think 45 should well be sufficient. Now, Borough are on 25, is it? Don't try and scroll across 10,000 columns. 28 now, actually. Sorry. 28. So, yeah, they probably need about 6 more wins from 11.
Big ask, isn't it?
It's a big ask, not least because every time they've won, they've then lost the next game.
Yeah, so but potentially with 11 in the bag, they can do that.
Well, yeah, it's asking a lot, though.
The way it goes, win one, lose one, win one, lose one. That'll be the end of the season as well. As you mentioned, Chris, as well, Horsham sitting on 49 points. Excuse me, we said fifth is the target in the National League divisions to make sure you're 100% safe, especially in the top division. But they're 1 point away from that now. Fantastic thing they've had so far, and they have been really injury ravaged the last few weeks. I've had a lot of the under-18s on the bench just to make the numbers up as well. But I imagine Dom's got half an eye on next season as well, from where they are. He's probably been looking quite closely at what he actually needs next year against what they've actually had this year. Would you anticipate that there might be a little bit of experimentation over the next few weeks because they haven't got, bar obviously the FA Trophy if they go through as well, in order to work out, am I going to keep such and such? Am I going to keep so and so? Is this one borderline? Do I think this one's going to make it or not? Do you anticipate a lot of change when it comes to the summer for Horsham?
Yeah, probably. I think the thing is, I know at the top end when squad stability is a lot sort of easier to predict, actually finishing the season strongly is really it's really useful because you can build that momentum and actually you can then pretty much carry it forward. Whereas I think at this level, when contracts are short, let's say, if they're there at all, you might as well try and get some learnings out of the season because you're not going to learn a lot in these sorts of games. And as I've said before, if you haven't got anything to play for, then where's the mentality? It's really hard to keep that mentality there when there isn't necessarily something on the line, particularly when Horsham season, if they do go through against Southend, people are going to be people subconsciously going to be thinking, don't want to miss the semi. You know what I mean?
On Horsham, I think Dom, if they hadn't had the run they had at the start of the season, I think everyone at Horsham would have been happy to finish 20th this season.
Yeah.
So, in my opinion, anything above 20th, they'll be happy with. And I can't see them finish. In my opinion, I can't see them finishing below 17th. I can't see them finishing below Tunbridge.
No, I don't think so. Yeah.
So for me, providing they can keep picking up a point here and there, I can't see any of the others picking up points. Why not go for the Vase? Just give it a go. Get your day out at Wembley. A trophy, yeah. Sorry, it's been a long day. Just go for it, right? Put everything you've got in there, and if it doesn't come off at the weekend, then you flip your thing back to the league, and you realistically you're not going to get. I mean, they're only 3 points off the playoffs, but there's a lot of teams above them.
And they've played more games, haven't they, as well, than everyone else?
Yeah. And you look at all the teams other than Ebbsfleet, all those teams in the top 7 have played 32 or 33 games. Ebbsfleet played 34, Western played 31. I can't see them getting into the playoffs. So just finish as high as you can and chalk it down as a successful season.
100%.
Because anything above 20th is a successful season. Interestingly, Farnborough and Chippenham are sharing a 0-0 draw currently. And it's 45 plus 6 or something like that, I think. 45 plus 8 in the National League South.
Eastbourne could do with that being a 0-0 draw this evening, I think. Yeah. Absolutely. Right, let's go Isthmian Premier Division. And results at the weekend, Whitehawk went down 4-0 at Brentwood Town. Burgess Hill Town beat Wingate and Finchley by 3-2. Lewis drew 0-0 at Cheshunt, and Chichester City beat Canvey Island by 3-0. On Tuesday evening, Whitehawk beat Lewis by 3-1. This coming Saturday, Burgess Hill Town head to Canvey Island. Chichester City are at Dulwich Hamlet. Lewis at home to Crow Valley PM, and Whitehawk host Chatham Town. Then on Tuesday evening, Whitehawk travelled to Chatham Town. Lewis are at home to Billericay Town, and Burgess Hill Town head to Wingate and Finchley. Whitehawk bounced back very well from the defeat on Saturday to beat Lewis on Tuesday evening, and with 2 in hand, if they win those, they're only going to be 1 point outside the playoffs. And with Chatham having a bit of a wobble at the moment and playing them twice in the space of a few days, the potential is actually quite big for the Hawks.
Yeah, they've managed to time their 2 fixtures against Chatham remarkably well. playing a team twice in a week. I know it happens at this level, but it's still quite funny to see. But yeah, to catch Chatham, who again I think are the only full-time outfit at this level.
Yeah,
certainly in this division, when they're on they've taken 4 points from the last 6, and 3 of them are against Welling, who are not with the best will in the world, not that good. Perfect. Great win at home to Lewis. The only other sleepers really are Dartford, because Dartford has still got a game in hand, but they're doing all they can. And losing at Brentwood, is like that'll happen from time to time. They're a good side. So
yeah, very good.
No shame in that at all. And then I think Ramsgate have got Averley at the weekend, so there's potential to go above them. It's considering where they've been this season. I think from the turnaround they've had in the last sort of 6 to 8 weeks has been brilliant.
Yeah, I think I've said a couple of times I've seen Chatham this season. I weren't impressed with them, and they're struggling. It's a good time for Whitehawk to go there, right? Or to play them, because I wasn't impressed with Chatham, especially as a full-time squad aside. Try have beaten them in recent weeks. They lost to Dulwich, I think, last night 1-0.
Yeah, but someone I think someone remarked Gaz as well, one of the worst full-time teams that they've seen in this division, and I looked at it and I thought, it's not your comment, someone else's last night.
Yeah, no, but look, I can see it. I don't watch a great deal at sort of step 3, to be honest with you. Certainly not this season. I have done in the past, but not this season. And I instantly thought, this is not a great full-time side. And last night, I think it was a 94th minute lump up from Toby Ball for Dulwich to win 1-0. So, yeah, that great opportunity for Whitehawk to kick on and at least challenge for those playoff spots. Might not get them, but at least... we saw last year, didn't we, with Chichester? I think they scraped into the playoffs. Was it last season?
No, they missed out, didn't they, on the last day? They lost to Dover. Dover got in, and Dover won promotion to the National League South. Yeah,
so why not? It makes it more exciting, doesn't it?
And I'll tell you what, as well, actually, it's not just Averley going on Ramsgate, which for some bananas reasons at 5:30 kickoff. Folkestone are going to Billericay. So if Billericay get beat, and Whitehawk can do Chatham, all of a sudden, it really is all to play for.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, Burgess Hill are not out of the mix. They're only 5 points off the playoffs, played the same amount of games as Billericay, but over 1,400 in for their win on Saturday, their free entry game for the opening of the fan zone. Be nice if they could rack in 1,000 for the next few home games as well. That might just give them that extra shot, to take on the sides above them and squeeze into the playoffs.
Yeah, and how cool would that be? And obviously, they got promoted this season. I realise I keep moving out of view of the screen and stretching out on my.
So no one will care when they're listening on Thursday, Gaz.
Yeah, but everyone that's listening now wants to see my pretty face. Whatever. Yeah, Burgess Hill. Again, I think the difference between Burgess Hill and Whitehawk obviously is the 2 games. Whitehawk have got that opportunity to go and do it. Burgess Hill have played the same amount of pretty much as everyone around them. So, but yeah, get another 1,000 through the gate for the next couple of home games. That'd be lovely, wouldn't it?
Yeah, I mean, 2 away games for this week coming for Burgess Hill as well, against 2 of the strugglers, Canvey Island, the bottom of the table after Welling's win on Tuesday night, and then they go to Wingate, who they beat on Saturday. But Wingate won 2-0 last night, so not going to be an easy one to go to. But both sides could be, especially with Lewis facing Billericay on Tuesday, could do both sides actually a massive favour. Yeah,
they could be. Yeah. Then, while we're in this league, right, I'm going to change the subject quickly. Mm-hmm. Did anyone see old Jensen not Button at Chai at the weekend?
No, but yeah, I know he was there though.
Right.
I knew people who was who were there on Saturday. Yeah,
He gave the Canvey Island centre forward some absolute stick. He was just shouting abuse at him the whole time. Yeah. Anyway,
Slaggy striker.
Slaggy striker. He'd have been well happy for a slaggy pint, because I'm telling you now that the choice beer at Chichester is, I don't drink when I go to football, but I was impressed with the choices of
It's good, isn't it? It's good.
the options you've got at Chai Football Club for beer.
Yeah,
Not far from the train station either, Chris. Just saying.
Well, good. If they've got good beer on offer, being near a train station is very helpful.
I mean,
One of the good things about Lewis.
It is for Mike as well. I have to put that in his diary.
Yeah.
It'll be interesting to see. Talk of Lewis, it'll be interesting to see how they get on at the weekend. They've got Cray Valley at home, who it's an easy game on paper. They won't fold.
Right. Moving on to the Isthmian South East Division before everyone groans and cries away. Right, results on Saturday. Broadbridge Heath and Hassocks was postponed because of the weather. Three Bridges won 3-2 at Crowborough Athletic. Hastings United went down 3-0 at Deal Town. East Grinstead Town and Sheffield United was postponed, and Eastbourne Town lost 2-0 at home to AFC Whiteleaf. Then on Tuesday evening, East Grinstead Town went down 8-0 at home to AFC Whiteleaf. Three Bridges won 3-0 at Hastings, and Crowborough Athletic went down 4-0 at Sittingbourne. This coming Saturday, Eastbourne Town head to Ashford United. Hassocks are at home to Beckenham Town. Hastings United at home to East Grinstead Town. Crowborough Athletic head to Margate. Three Bridges at home to Erith Town, and Broadbridge Heath head to VCD Athletic. On Tuesday evening, East Grinstead head to Deal. That's a nice Tuesday night trip, that, isn't it? Hassocks at home to Faversham. That's a nice trip for Faversham on a Tuesday night. And Eastbourne Town head to Mersham. We'll start with you, Chris. You were at the Saffrons for AFC Whiteleaf's visit.
I was.
And didn't obviously go to Town's plan.
No, it was a poor game. It was really low on quality, and don't think the weather conditions massively helped that. It was a swirling wind and peeing down, so not a particularly pleasant afternoon. I've seen Whiteleaf twice this season and never been that massively impressed with them. We played, now admittedly, when we went up there, not the Green Box, that's Ashford, but their lovely stadium. We went down, they went down to 10 men, and we basically had them at arm's length for quite a lot of it. And we actually were trying to find an equaliser, and I thought we deserved a point, and then they hit us twice on the break like it does. And equally on Saturday, I think they basically scored they had 3 shots on target. One was well saved by Chris Winterton, and the other 2, one was a pen, and the other kind of went in. They didn't do anything other than that, really. I've been much more impressed with other sides I've seen us play against this season. So, yeah, that's to see them win 8-0 last night was a bit shocking, to be honest. They're not great for Town, but equally, it doesn't really change the picture for us. I don't think we're going down. It's obviously not a great result, but Whiteleaf will win quite a few away games this season. I still don't think they won't go up, though. I'll be honest, they ain't going up. I know they're third, but they're not going up.
Someone bookmark that and see where we are come early May.
Their record. The reason they're not going up is their record against the top 5. They've got 1 point out of 5 games against the top 5. So that'll be what stops them, because they'll have to come up against them in the playoffs. They can't play Town. We ain't going to be in them. So.
Well, no, guys, 2 3-goal wins for Three Bridges again, strengthening their lead at the top of the table and 11 points clear at the moment. It's going to take a monumental collapse if they don't win that division and head up to step 3 for the first time ever.
I mean, they're 11 points clear, aren't they? So I think, provided if they beat teams around them, they're gonna do all right, and then they'll. Oh my God, I feel like I'm waffling tonight. Very good. I think they'll win the league. They've been there since more or less the beginning of the season, haven't they? Yeah.
They started the season with a 5-0 pasting of Town, so we're basically top on goal difference from the get-go. I think they lost to Broadbridge early, so that might be the only time they weren't top of the league, maybe end of August.
And then when you got old Curly from Soccer AM doing a bit on your 2 centre forwards, you've got something special there. I think they'll need to keep them. They'll need to go up to try and have a chance of keeping them next season. So,
yeah, potentially. I mean, there are 97 goals as well this season. I know they're well over, I think, 120 in all competitions. And Reece Hallard and Noel Layton are two really good strikers for that. But they've got a lot of players that do chip in with a lot of goals as well. It's not just those two. When you look at a score sheet, it's normally familiar names on it, but not just always those two strikers as well. So, they do share the goals around. A couple of big games this weekend. Hassocks hosting Beckenham and Hastings at home to East Grinstead. Both home sides in need of a win. And it might actually put a nail in Beckenham's coffin.
I think I make it that Beckenham have a 97% chance of going down anyway. So there's already quite a lot of nails in that particular coffin.
97.
Yeah. So, that is huge. That is absolutely mahoosive. I mean, Hassocks have still got them to Beckenham, VCD, and Hastings to come as well. Hastings, they've moved to Good Friday, I believe.
Yes, I saw that. Yeah.
So that one's going to be huge. I mean, I think Hastings will be okay, but this is worrying times, I think, for them, given their recent form. But I think what better way to end that than the visit of East Grinstead?
Yeah, so Mr. McCaffrey will be on co-commentary on Saturday afternoon. For those of you missing his dulcet tones this evening, you can hear him on Saturday. Tune into Hastings FC Radio. Right, let's move on.
I can't think of anything worse.
I hope he knows. I hope he's got a few lines for goals, because there might be a few.
Might have a few.
No denying the importance of their upcoming games. Well, if Hassocks beat Beckenham on Saturday, things are nowhere near close to fine.
I will just say, they've got East Grinstead at home, then they go to Beckenham, Hastings. So that's two pretty big games. But again, I think if they win them, then that'll probably be them okay. But they've still got VCD to come at home as well. In fact, just before they play Hassocks, they host VCD. So it's still very much in their hands. And when I looked earlier, their record against the bottom side Hastings is actually pretty decent. So, I'm not. I'd take a bet on them staying up easy.
The only problem seems to be with Hastings at the moment is scoring goals.
Yeah, and losing James Stone would have been a massive blow to them in that. Because he was doing quite well for them. And it's easy to. It's like you were saying last week about correlation. Like, I'm sure it's not causation. However, he left, and since then the goals have dried up quite a bit.
Yeah, I think as well though with the way James Stone plays though, being a hold-up guy but able to score goals as well, he's that much different to Lucas Franson-Jones, who they've got up front now instead. So maybe whether that's had to change their style of play, and it hasn't worked because they haven't got the personnel to play that way, whereas they had the personnel to play the other way when James was there. And maybe that's where the correlation comes with how it goes. But what happens on the weekend? Right, let's go Isthmian South Central results on Saturday. What?
No.
Okay. Right, results on Saturday. Littlehampton Town went down 3-0 at Harrow Borough, and Bognor Regis Town lost 3-1 at Kingstonian. On Tuesday, even Littlehampton's home game with Rains Park Vale was postponed. This coming Saturday, Bognor Regis Town host Westfield and Littlehampton Town host Hendon. Right, on Sunday, Jamie Howe stepped down as manager at Bognor. They're not sitting in a bad place in the table. They're in touch with those relegation places at the moment. Not massively. No one's in touch with the top end of the table because the five are really away from it. A surprise, not a surprise. I mean, the form's not been fantastic.
I don't know. There's been something wrong with that. Something wrong at Bognor for the last couple of seasons, hasn't there? Obviously, they went down last season, and you thought.
There's been no bounce going home, has there? Which we did expect it to take off a little bit.
There was a couple of games that sort of pulled them out of a little bit of trouble.
Yeah.
When they brought in the goalkeeper,
Dan Lincoln.
Dan Lincoln, when he came in, they went sort of 3 or 4 games, put 3 or 4 good games together. But have kind of struggled after that, to be honest with you. Be interesting to see if they get someone just in to finish the end of this season, or in my opinion, what they should do is bring someone in line for next season and start the plan for the prep for next season now. I don't know what's going on with Bognor.
Sometimes easier said.
Go on.
I was going to say, sometimes easier said than done bringing in someone now for next season, because you never know who's going to be available in the summer.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
But I suppose at this level, you do get a little bit more consistency in terms of players at clubs than you do when you drop down another level.
Yeah, true.
I don't know. I don't know how much it would help them having a chairman like that is high up within the National League. I don't know whether that would help them or put more pressure on them.
It makes an ounce of difference, does it?
Yeah, but I'm not going to pass an opinion on that because I'll end up getting myself in trouble. Anyway, Kingstonian and South Park are drawing 0-0 tonight.
Yeah, that was the thing I was going to raise.
Yeah, I was just going to say, Littlehampton obviously now only 3 points off the drop. If Kingstonian do win this evening, Kingstonian move out of the bottom 4 above Littlehampton with a better goal difference. And Littlehampton play the one side that's below them and the relegation zone at the moment at home on Saturday afternoon, being Hendon, which looks on the face of it now a massive 6-pointer.
Yeah, I'll go on.
I was going to say, my model's got them two basically either side of the dotted line. One with a 42% chance of relegation and one with a 39% chance, i.e. can't split them. So that is going to be huge. And it's so much bigger. It was so much bigger than it would have been, say, 4 weeks ago when you're looking forward.
Yeah. Look, I've got a live table on football web pages at the moment. Littlehampton are paid 31 and 36 points. Kingstonian on 18th, played 29, got 34 points. Hendon, 31 games, 34 points. Basically, anyone from Ascot to Rains Park Vale up in 8th, I don't think are out of it. I think anyone in that sort of... There's 8 points separating Ascot in 20th and Rains Park Vale in 8th.
Jesus Christ.
I mean, the thing we've been saying for a couple of weeks, though, is that Binfield and Kingstonian in that bottom thing are so far in form and they've got games in hand is where the worry comes more than anything else, because you look around them, everyone else has played a similar amount of games. So there isn't a lot to shift from. So it's literally, if those two clubs could start losing a few, would be really helpful for ours.
Hartley Whitney have got 6 games in hand on Bognor.
It's crazy, isn't it?
There's been a heck of a lot. I mean, this game Kingstonian are playing tonight is being played at Ashford Town, Middlesex.
Yeah, which is where they played on Saturday against Bognor as well.
Yeah, I think there seems to be a bit of a movement in that league to just finding a 3G pitch near you and just trying to move games to it.
There are a lot of them trying to do that.
Yeah, which that league in particular has been ravaged more than the Southeast in terms of games getting postponed. And yeah, the form's the interesting thing, isn't it? Because, like you said, Littlehampton are in no sort of form at all, which doesn't help. Ascot, I think, are doomed just because unless something changes massively there, because their form's been absolutely woeful. But yeah, I mean, it's really looking shaky. I mean, it was, what was it? What did I say? It was 12% last week or something daft, and now it's 38. Like, it's not been a good week for Littlehampton. They need to get something on, and they need to get things changed and fast.
To quote, obviously Ryan Gaylor from last year, when you look at the goal difference, Horndean and Fareham, you'd expect, and then you got Littlehampton and Met Police have got the worst 2 goal difference, worst 4 goal differences out of the bottom sort of 10.
But even Met Police are winning games.
Yeah.
Yes,
let's not all be down. Let's not all
ended last week. Haven't been 3-0 down.
Let's not all be on a Billy Downer for Littlehampton. I think they've got the players there to grind out a result, to force a result, and I'm sure they will. I'm sure they'll be fine come the end of the season.
I think win on Saturday. That's the thing. Win on Saturday, and I think that'll probably be the case.
Well, yeah, it just opens things up a little bit as well, doesn't it? But the as you said, I don't think. Am I right? They've not won since New Year's Day, since they beat Bognor.
Yeah, spot on. So that's 7 games. No, 7 games. Yeah, 7 games without a win.
Yeah, and I suppose it's a bit more disappointing because we thought moving across the division, they started the season well. At one point we were saying good chance they're going to carry on this form. They're going to make the playoffs, and it's tailed off so much. It's almost replicating a season in the Isthmian South East rather than being a breath of fresh air and a change.
Well, the South East, I think, went in a different direction, didn't it? Because they started off horribly. And I remember you guys were always saying like they'll be fine because they've got goals inside, and that was exactly what happened. Like they pulled out of it quite safely in the end. But they were level with Lancing at one point, and I think there was a bit of disquiet about whether they'll go down. And they beat Eastbourne Town quite late, and that was what sealed it. And they finished the season well, and then they went into this one well, and you're thinking, there's a bit of momentum here. But yeah, it's really tailed off in 2026. 1 win in 9.
Yeah, not great. Right, let's go. Southern Combination Premier Division and results last Wednesday. Lingfield went down 3-2 at home to Seaford. On Saturday, Horsham Way beat Guernsey by 4-0. Roffey won 5-2 at Forest Row. Hayward Town went down 4-3 at home to Bexhill. Lingfield and Pagham shared a 1-1 draw. Take the hand off the other doesn't help. Stenning Town's game at Little Common was postponed. Midhurst and Eastbourne drew 0-0 with Crawley Down Gatwick. Eastbourne United won at 2-1 at Newhaven. Peacehaven and Telsom's game at Seaford was postponed. Shoreham beat Lancing by 1-0, and Wick against AFC Vardinians was postponed. On Tuesday evening, which Crawley Down Gatwick 3, Forest Row 3. Midhurst and Eastbourne beat Seaford by 4-0, and Hayward Heath Town won 2-1 at Pagham. This coming Saturday, Hayward Heath Town head to Guernsey for a 2 p.m. kickoff. AFC Vardinians host Midhurst and Eastbourne. Lingfield head to Bexhill United. Crawley Down Gatwick at home to Little Common. Horsham Way head to Eastbourne United. Newhaven host Lancing. Pagham are at home to Shoreham. Wick head to Peacehaven and Telscombe. Roffey at home to Seaford. And Stenning Town at home to Forest Row. On Monday evening, AFC Vardinians host Eastbourne United. On Tuesday, as we mentioned, the Sussex Senior Cup quarter-final between Horsham Wyham and Eastbourne Borough at Eastbourne Borough. The Sussex RUR Charity Cup semi-final, Roffey at home to Hayward Heath. And in the Premier Division, Lancing head to Crawley Down Gatwick, and Midhurst and Eastbourne host Lingfield. Right, let's start with last week before we get to the big games that are coming up. Obviously, as when we spoke to Connor, massive win for them beating Lancing. But also we had Midhurst picking up another point, which obviously Connor's yet to be beaten as Midhurst boss, and obviously that was against Crawley Down Gatwick, who needed the points as well. But Hayward Heath came a cropper at home to Bexhill in a rather ding-dong battle, having been 2-0 up, but redeemed themselves on Tuesday evening with a feisty 2-1 win over Pagham. It's still something of a title race going on because there's only going to be 3 points between them if Hayward Heath win their other game in hand. And obviously the pair don't clash until Easter Monday, I think it is, at Hayward Heath. But Heath can't afford too many more wobbles, can they?
No. And when you can't afford a wobble, where do you want to go? Where do you not want to go? Where do you not want to go? You don't want to go to Guernsey, do you? When you can't afford a wobble.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Oh, look, we've got a title on our hands.
Yeah,
title race on our hands is the word I'm trying. I'm done this evening.
Yeah, you're on it tonight, aren't you?
Yeah.
Or not on it?
Well, I said,
Yeah.
I said to you guys last night, didn't I? I said on Tuesday, if you'd have told me maybe in November, like Leatherhead and Hayward Heath are going to get reeled in, I'd have probably been sending round the doctors. But no, it's turning into quite the season. And it feels like last night that sort of swing at Pagham towards Hayward Heath, like from being 1-0 down to then turning it round really late. That feels like it could be huge.
Yeah, could be. And obviously Guernsey are going to want to bounce back from a bad result, Horsham YM, and take nothing away from Horsham YM. They were, by all accounts, very good on the day. The only side to stop Guernsey scoring so far this season, which, as Chris, you've said many times, Guernsey either get thumped or they thump teams. There's no in between, is there?
No, well, they haven't drawn a game yet. And like I say, they've conceded 54 goals in 27 games. So that's a nice round 2 a game. Conceded, which when you're third and you've got the goal difference they have, 36 goal difference isn't to be sniffed at. So they're getting their money's worth down there.
Yeah, just a little bit. Now, also some big games on Saturday as well. Vardinians hosting Midhurst and Eastbourne, and both Lancing and Shoreham on the road to free scoring and free conceding New Haven, and a very tight Pagham as well. Midhurst obviously with another good result during the week as well. A 4-0 win over Seaford. Themselves and Crawley Down are just starting to pick up some points. Lingfield as well. And it's just starting to drag Wick into the mix a little bit. And if Midhurst and I think it's Crawley Down both win at the weekend, that'll put both of them above Wick.
Yeah. I mean, what a difference Connor's made since he come in, for starters. I think we kind of knew after seeing Petersfield here under us last year what he can do. And I think it helps being able to bring in the players that he's brought in from Petersfield. He knows those players. They know the division from last year, so they kind of know more or less what they're up against. Concerning for Wick, I think they might have thought they were safe at one point, or they'd be getting towards safety. But have they had a points deduction, Wick, as well?
No, not that I know of.
Because on the FA full time, it's saying adjustment made with an asterisk.
How many points does it say they have?
23.
Shit, they have.
Oh, interesting. That doesn't show. I was using non-league HQ for the table, so it doesn't show any. It doesn't show the points deduction on there.
I'm on the SCFL website. Because I can. But I'm pretty sure they pull straight from FA full time. Looking at the table,
they tend to. The results certainly tend to, and if you click on them, it takes you to the FA full time website.
They're shown as 23 points. On
wow,
FA
I'm gonna have to rerun my models. I'm gonna have to.
They've lost 2 points then from somewhere.
Yeah,
3.
Interesting.
I'm gonna have to rerun my models. I mean, the one thing in which
they've won 8 and drawn 2 makes 25, yeah? And they're on 23, so they've lost 2.
No, 8 wins is 24, so they've won.
Yeah, plus 2 draws makes 25, so they've lost 2. So
in my mathematical world, and I appreciate
26. Sorry, yeah, I'm having a Gaz day.
You started off with a Gaz day this morning. Are you not admitting to a mistake, are you, Trev?
They've been 3 then.
Wow. I mean, yeah. The one thing I think in Wick's favour, because when I was looking at the fixtures before, I mean, A, by the way, that Easter weekend is going to be mega. Because, like I said, Shoreham, I think it's Shoreham and Lancing have both got Wick, and they've both got Vardinians. So that's that. But Wick have also got Vardinians, I think, the penultimate game of the season. Oh, no, they've still not got a date for that, actually. So Wick still have Vardinians at home. They've still got Shoreham at home, Lingfield at home. So it's very much in their own hands. But Christ, that points deduction really does put the cat among the pigeons, doesn't it?
I've just messaged There you go.
Free at the end of
Thank you
January
very
for
much.
fielding an eligible player. Do you know what, though? There's one thing with this. It'd be nice if actually the county FA or the league or whoever actually put these out as a tweet or a statement, because if
Or
you
even
go
the
and
clubs.
look, if you go and look at no club's going to go. Oh, by the way, we've got 3 points. You know, most clubs don't do that. If you go and look at the Mid Sussex Premier Division table, every club bar 2 out of the 12 has had a points adjustment. Now, it doesn't tell you how many, or if you've got to work it out for yourself. But I'm like, my God, that's massive. If I message Harry Stapley, I'll find out exactly why everyone's had, because Westfield haven't and one other haven't. But it's just red asterisks against everyone. I'm like, why not actually just put it out there? Who's had what deducted and what for? Just so that everyone knows, bit of clarity.
Yeah,
But there we go.
Thank
Thank you
it's
very much for that.
It's hardly national state security secret, is it? Just
No.
get it out there.
You know, and like I say, if you go on to non-league HQ, there isn't, I don't think, anywhere on there where they've got the facility to be able to add in a points deduction because of where their the way their software works. It will obviously pull the points total as to what it shows wherever they pull their tables from. But it'd just be nice. But there we go.
I'm just actually chatting to Sue, the secretary at Wick at the moment. I just messaged, so I'll get more of an update in a minute. I was like, we just noticed live on air that you guys have had a points deduction. So.
Yeah, no one told us. No one's that informative. Right, let's crack on into Division 1 and results on Saturday. AFC Wall Counties beat East Preston by 6-1. Infinity won 3-0 at Dorking Wanderers B. Jarvis Brook and Reigate Priory was postponed. Milo won 3-1 at Loxwood. Ringmouth AFC and Billingshurst shared a 1-1 draw. Saltdean beat Oakwood by 2-0. Godalming Town won 6-0 at Selsey, and Worthing United drew 1-1 with Arundel. On Tuesday evening, the Division 1 Cup semi-final finished East Preston 2, Oakwood 2, and the penalty scoreline is either 4-2 or 4-1 to Oakwood. No one can seem to make up their mind which is which, because Gaz wasn't concentrating as per normal. In the Sussex RUR Charity Cup semi-final, Worthing United and Selsey was postponed because of floodlight failure, and the Division 1 games at AFC Uckfield Town and Billingshurst were also postponed. This coming Friday, Copthorne host AFC Uckfield Town. On Saturday, Arundel travel to Billingshurst. East Preston host Selsey. Jarvis Brook at home to AFC Wall Countians. Ringmouth AFC head to Loxwood. Oakwood host Godalming Town at 2 p.m. and Reigate Priory at home to Worthing United. On Tuesday evening, Worthing United and Selsey will try again in the Sussex RUR Charity Cup semi-final. In the Division 1 Challenge Cup semi-final, it's Godalming Town against AFC Wall Countians at Dorking Wanderers. And in Division 1, East Preston host Jarvis Brook and Arundel are at home to Infinity. Mike was at Loxwood and Mile Oak on Saturday. Can't ask him what it was like because he's not here and didn't.
He was probably in the bar.
Sorry?
He was probably in the bar.
Probably in the bar anyway. The lights weren't out in there, so he had a hangover this morning with 2 breakfasts and a lunch, apparently, by the looks of things. Gaz, you were at the EP Oakwood game last night at Stenning. It was quite a healthy crowd, or not?
Yeah, decent crowd. To be fair, I think it was helped by Worthing game being called off. It was probably the closest, the Worthing United game being called off last minute. And it's probably the closest game to that ground. So I know Ian Bailey, for example, from non-league day, what had got to Worthing United and then shot up to Stenning. So I think that might have helped it a little bit. I'd say there was a crowd there of around 100, I would say. Just quickly scouting it. Decent game as well, to be honest with you. Oakwood dominated for large parts, and then East Preston do what they always do, come back strong in the second half. On the balance, I'd say that Oakwood deserved to go through. I think they were the better team on the day. So, yeah, good game. Nice to have a nice burger again.
That's right, it was. And even Godalming Town or AFC Wall Countians await them in the final.
Yeah, I got an update about the lost points from before we move on from Wick.
Yeah.
Referee didn't put a yellow card through for 2 weeks. So it only came through after a game that one of the players should have been suspended for having 5 bookings. So they appealed it and got nowhere.
That's
They
outrageous.
get a weekly suspension summary, and it wasn't on there. He missed the next game, but got an additional ban too.
That ain't on, is it? That ain't on.
We should ask Ian Holloway about this sort of thing. He's usually quite balanced about these sorts of things.
I could have done last week, but I can't this week.
And if
I should have got his number.
I now keep a bit of a close eye on Swindon because of Fletcher Holman being there, the ex-Eastbourne Town, Eastbourne Borough striker. And obviously Ian Holloway's at Swindon, so they're never a million miles away from the news anyway. But
absolutely not. Top guy though, Ollie. Top guy.
Oh yeah. No, he's sound as, but yeah, he wasn't very happy about. It was something quite similar, wasn't it? Actually,
yeah. They got kicked out of the Virtue Trophy for playing a supposed ineligible. He was telling us about it actually. I can't remember what the story was, but yeah, it was just basically bollocks. A good
Div 1 anyway. It was a good weekend for Godalming, wasn't it? With Arundel and Worthing United sharing a point.
Yeah, they've now 88% chance of winning the title now.
Yeah, literally opened the door for them and shut it on everyone else. Really, it could have done really with Arundel picking up all 3 points at Worthing United to keep it a little bit fresh. But I mean, saying that, Arundel have got a few games in hand. No doubt they've got to play Godalming either home or away. I'd imagine at some point. I don't think they've played them. They played them at home, haven't they, Gaz? Godalming?
Yeah. They've got them away on the 21st of March.
There you go. So if they can reel some points back in the next 3 weeks, a bit of an ask. I think we're playing for playoff places there. And AFC Walcountians have snuck into that last play on a good run at the moment, taking advantage of Selsley's dip in form. And potentially it could be in the cup final if they can overcome Godalming on Tuesday evening.
Yeah, great for the season at senior football for them, isn't it? And yeah, I mean, that playoff race is now looking quite intriguing because I don't think Reigate are out of it just yet. I don't think they'll get in there, but they're certainly in with a shot. And it's quite close between the sort of the 4+1 incumbents at the minute, Worthing, Infinity, Arundel, Walcountians and Billingshurst. And obviously Billingshurst are a bit handicapped at the moment by not having played many games. So...
Just had a look, obviously, because I'm on the fixtures because we're talking about Godalming. Arundel's next 2 fixtures are Billingshurst away and Infinity at home.
Yeah, a couple of biggies, isn't it?
Yeah.
A couple of biggies.
Yeah. That league's another one that's going to be quite exciting, isn't it? I think anyone from Billingshurst in 6th to Worthing United will be in the playoffs.
That's what.
Yeah, did you just say that?
Yeah, words to that effect. Yeah, it's going to be tight. I mean, no one's got more than a 90% chance of getting in the playoffs of them 5. No. So, and no one's got less than 50. So it's going to be pretty tight. It's going to be really interesting.
I think I can't remember. We all tipped Godalming at the start of the season. I don't think I did.
I think, actually, to be honest, when I think back to it, the teams we tipped most were Arundel and Worthing United.
Yeah,
I think Arundel on the strength of how they finished last season, and and Worthing United on the strength of pre-season form. And you and Mike, I think, had gone and seen them, Gaz, and you were saying like they were a few weeks ahead of everybody else.
Yeah.
And Godalming, here we are.
Interesting 2 months of the season to come, isn't there?
Yeah.
Simple as that. Right, step 7 results last week. In the Sussex Intermediate Cup, Howsham Town beat TD Shipley by 3-0. In Division 1, AFC Brighton Rangers beat Storrington by 8-0. Another one in Mike's sacking territory. Brighton Electricity drew 2-2 with Alpha. Capel and Boston was postponed. Southport beat Rudwick by 4-2. Russellton won 6-0 at Upper Beeding and Ferring won 4-1 at Worthing Town. This coming Saturday, Alfold host Ferring. AFC Brighton Rangers at home to TD Shipley at Lancing. Capel host Howsham. Upper Beeding head to Rudwick. Russellton at home to Worthing Town. And at 3 p.m, Chester City B at home to Brighton Electricity and Storrington at home to Southwater. In the Mid-Sussex, In the Sussex Intermediate Cup, Hollington United and Westfield was postponed, as was Cookfield Rangers and Polegate Town in the Premier Division. Holland Sports drew 2-2 with Reigate Priory Reserves. Rotherfield beat Lingfield by 3-2, and Crowhurst beat Balcombe by the same scoreline. This coming Saturday in the Montgomery Cup, Hollington United head to Copthorne seconds as Holland Sports host Reigate Priory Reserves. In the Premier Division, Rotherfield are at home. Rotherfield are away to Balcombe. Westfield go to French Athletic. Linfield at home to Cookfield Rangers, and Shoreham seconds host Polegate Town. Then on Tuesday evening, Westfield are at home to Hollington United with a 7:30 p.m. kickoff. The West Sussex Division Centenary Cup, Billingshurst Reserves beat Ashurst United by 5-4. The games at AFC Fishbourne and Hart in the Premier Division were postponed, as was Holbrook Olympic against Dell United and Horsham Crusaders against Wittering United. Watersfield won 3-0 at Petworth. This coming Saturday in the Malcolm Simmons Memorial Cup, TD Shipley Reserves host Stedham United, and Wittering United at home to Slimfold. In the Premier Division, it's Holbrook Olympic against Harting, Horsham Crusaders at home to Angmering, and Petworth host AFC Fishbourne. Right. Team of the week, sponsored by Singers Roofing Specialists. This week went to Horsham YM for their 4-0 win over Guernsey, doing the double over Guernsey and being the first side to stop them scoring in a league game this year. So congratulations to them. We only really had Eastbourne Borough in the conversation, didn't we, Gaz, for beating Torquay United? There wasn't a lot else knocking around that really stood out, was there?
Those are the two that stood out, weren't they? Horsham YM and Eastbourne Borough, who do battle on Tuesday night.
They do indeed. They do indeed. So congratulations to Liam Giles' team and the players at Horsham YM. Right. Any shout outs from you two?
Yeah. Shout out to Harrison Mayhew at Crowborough Athletic. 150 goals, 150 games at the weekend against VCD. I know you had that one, but I put it in the group, so I'm going to say that one. And also a shout out to Chris Simmons from Broadbridge Heath to his daughter. Chris Simmons welcomed his grandson Arlo on the 22nd, so 3 days ago. So congratulations to that family as well.
Anything, Chris?
No.
Right, okay. I've got three. Friend of the pod, Brad Delagan, 50 appearances for Worthing.
Oh, I did have that one as well.
You snooze, you lose. In the 100 club, also at Crowborough Athletic, Alfie Lambden, and in the 200 club at AFC Walcountians, Luke Rogers, been at the club for 20 years as a junior playing mini soccer. He's been part of the team since their first senior game. So that's a decent run for Luke Rogers. 200 appearances. I think that's all I've got as well. Where are you guys heading to next Saturday or Tuesday?
Don't know Saturday yet. Tuesday, don't know yet, mate. What about you?
Me, I'm going nowhere unless I've got three clubs that still haven't paid me money. So if they do, then I'll probably head to Sevenoaks on Friday evening because they host Jersey Bulls. Something different. And if I actually get some money that I'm owed, then I might head somewhere on Saturday and Tuesday, but I won't know.
There is an option for Saturday.
There is an option for Saturday. Yeah, my issue isn't the cost of getting into a game. My issue is putting petrol in the car to get to a game.
Well, maybe we could both go to that game on Saturday.
Maybe we might well do. That's why these clubs. It'd be lovely if they could pay me, please. Yeah. Especially as one's got 2 months outstanding.
Right. If you owe Trev money, put your hand in your fucking pocket and pay him, will you? Come on now.
Because he's missing football.
I was going to say, Gaz actually drives around the country for a living, so you know.
Yes,
yeah, I do. I do.
But he's also I'll send the bailiff round. I'll send the heavies round anyway. Yeah. Where are you off to, Chris?
As things currently stand, nowhere. It's my mother-in-law's 70th this weekend, and they still haven't decided what they're going to do.
Well, you can take her to a game somewhere, surely.
Eastbourne United are on. Actually, she lives quite near there. So, and then on Tuesday is bloody annoying because we've got Mersham away, and I work in East Grinstead, so you would think, oh, I could just pop up there. Yeah, I'm not going to the office on Tuesday. I've got a family hospital appointment I need to attend. So,
didn't fancy jumping on the East Grinstead coach to Dealtown then?
Not from Eastbourne, no. As I say, I'm not leaving Eastbourne on Tuesday because I've got this. So,
okay, an opportunity missed, isn't it? Opportunity missed. I'm sure Mike was going somewhere Saturday, wasn't he?
At Hastings, eh?
He's at Hastings.
Yes.
Mike's at Hastings East Grinstead on commentary, and I imagine he'll be at Worthing United next Tuesday for the for part 2 of their instalment against Chelsea in the semi-final.
Ooh. Oh,
Yeah.
I would expect. But...
If I go anywhere, it'll be on Saturday. It'll be Eastbourne United versus Horsham YM on the basis that I will be probably very close to Eastbourne. So
there we go. So
you can do Eastbourne Borough versus Horsham YM.
Yeah, no. Well, I don't know. It depends on this hospital thing, doesn't it?
Yeah.
So
very true.
There we go. So that's where we're going to be for the next 7 days. If you want to get in touch with us, you can find us on X at the SNLF, on Facebook and Instagram, snlf.co.uk, Gaz on TikTok and YouTube.
The SNLF and then the SNLF podcast for YouTube. I did actually put a video up on there yesterday.
On what? On the YouTube?
On the YouTube, yeah, just like a little a short. I wonder how it went. Let's have a look. Because I put that same video up on Instagram, and it did just shy of 6,000 views, which is great.
yeah.
It helps that the guy that's in the video is puts his own content out on YouTube. He was a goalkeeper for Rustington, Alfie Lelliot. So that helps. But on there, it's had no views. Good. Wow.
Excellent. Well worked.
That's that. Give us a follow.
Good
and
point.
Then I can stream this there, right?
Have you put my stat show from last Friday on the feed yet?
On what? On
the SNLF feed?
No, I've not put anything out there yet. I'll be honest with you, Chris. I've been very, very busy.
Yeah, no, fair enough. Fair enough. It's on the Dugout Diaries feed if anybody particularly wants to go and watch it. It's a bit outdated now because games have happened. So
I'll get it. I'll get it out on the YouTube. I'll try and download it. If not today, I'll try and do it tomorrow and download it and get it out on the YouTube channel.
Nice.
Superb. Right, that's it from us for this evening. Enjoy your next 7 days of football wherever you're heading to, and we'll see you again next Wednesday.
Oh, one final thing, quickly before we sign off.
Yeah,
we're 4 weeks away from non-league day.
We are
5 weeks away. If you're planning something, give us a shout. I'm not going to give too much away, but I'm trying to organise something. If I pull it off, it'll be incredible. If not, it'll be a great idea for next year. But if you're organising something as a club, get us involved and we'll shout it out.
Yeah, absolutely. Hopefully, we'll start seeing a little bit more ramp up to the big day as it is at the end of March on the, I think it's Saturday the 28th. Is that right?
28th. Yeah.
Mike's birthday, apparently.
Whose?
Mike's birthday.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Well, Mike won't be doing anything for it then, will he? Because he'll be sloshed in the pub.
It'd be fucking helping me if I managed to pull this off.
Good luck with it. Right, everyone, enjoy your football over the next 7 days, and we'll see you again next Wednesday.
Bye.
Cheers all.